Hey guys, I'm James from the Omnic Post with an update on Overwatch 2. We are a little over a week away from the official release of Overwatch 2. I can almost smell it. No sir, that was me. In any case, it is getting close. So close that Blizzard already finished the build for that initial release. And they shared some of the balancing changes they made yesterday in a new developer blog. Now some of these changes have already spawned some angry reactions, some disappointed videos, and lengthy Reddit threads. But let's run over them before we get too worked up. Before I start, however, Blizzard confirmed again that they'll be doing some substantial balancing changes at the start of every season. Some because they need to fix issues, but others just to kind of change things up, which is interesting. But of course, in between they'll keep rebalancing in case there are issues. Anyways, let's get started with the general changes. Temporary health now grants 50% reduced ultimate charge instead of 0 ultimate charge. Blizzard felt that players with some temporary health got away with things a little too easy. The thing is, of course, that is kind of the idea behind the temporary health. But in this way, they're trying to give something back to the other team. And yeah, it does make sense, but I don't know if we're going to notice it that much necessarily. Maybe in very lengthy games we will, but moving on. The next one is the change that got a lot of people up in arms. Damage roll passive. A new passive. Eliminations grant 25% increased reload and movement speed for 2.5 seconds. Does not stack with itself, but will refresh duration. All heroes now refund up to 30% ultimate power on hero swap. First off, the old DPS passive that we had in the last beta is not gone, now everybody has it. In case you don't remember what it was, if you switched heroes as a DPS, you retained up to 30% of your ult charge, which was very nice. And as a tank and support player, I was kinda jealous. So I'm happy with this change. I'm happy that they're giving that to everybody now. But of course, DPS needed a new passive. In the initial beta, they actually had faster running speed. But now they get a 25% boost to the running speed. But this time around, it's only after elimination and for a short time. Unless of course they kill another target, at which point the buff will be refreshed. But it's not done yet. On top of that, they're also getting faster reload speed. That is something new. Okay. The first thing I saw in front of me when I heard that news was just DPS bouncing left and right all over the map like they were on sugar. Soldier's ultimate is going to be crazy with this buff. Yeah, I'm a plat player. I worry about Soldier's ultimate. But to be honest, I want to see it in action before I give it my final judgment. It's normal to be slightly worried. I'm a tank player. The thing is, of course, DPS players also deserve a good passive. And whatever they're going to choose, it's going to tick off the other roles. Because in essence, it's always going to be tied into doing some extra damage. They're DPS. Look, you don't get mad at a dog because they're barking. Well, sometimes you do. Especially when it's in the middle of the night. Some people need to sleep, you know. Alright, let's just keep going before this gets any weirder. Beyond the general changes, there are quite a few hero-specific buffs and nerfs. And the first one on the list is the Junker Queen. Commanding Shout. Ally health bonus reduced from 100 to 50 HP. Ally duration reduced from 5 to 3 seconds. Temporary health no longer decays over its duration, and the cooldowns increase from 11 to 15 seconds. It seems that Blizzard has been watching the Overwatch League, and they kind of figured out that the nerf to Commanding Shout was necessary if any other tank was ever going to be played again. Which is a good call. I do think, however, that the cooldown might be a little high now. One of the other tanks that needs a little more playtime is Erisa, so she's getting some buffs. Base health was increased from 250 to 275, the base armor was increased from 250 to 275, and her energy javelin cooldown was reduced from 8 to 6 seconds. Look, I've said this before, but I'm a huge fan of the reworked Erisa, and if they want to buff her armor and her health while they're giving me more javelins to throw, I'm all in. Let's go. Another tank that is getting some substantial buffs is Diva. Booster impact damage increased from 10 to 25. Micro missiles cooldown reduced from 8 to 7 seconds. The Call Mech ultimate cost reduced by 12%. Look, getting bull rushed by that mech is going to hurt, which makes sense. It is a huge mech. But let's have a look at a few of the supports. First up, Brigitte. Inspire duration reduced from 6 to 5 seconds. I never play Brigitte, not voluntarily at least. But I do know that she is still quite strong in Overwatch 2, even without the stun. This should help to slow her down a little bit. Batiste on the other hand is getting a buff to his damage. Biotic Launcher primary fire damage increased from 24 to 25, and Biotic Launcher primary fire minimum fall-off range increased from 20 to 25 meters. And the last healer on the table is Mercy. They're doing another attempt at this super jump thing. Pressing crouch during Guardian Angel now launches you straight up. Angelic Descent can now be activated by holding crouch while airborne. I feel like we've almost circled down back to the start at this point. So simply crouching will launch you up. Alright, and the descent thing? It's a nice comfort of life change. I hope Mercy mains like it. Onwards to DPS. Bastion is getting his old passive back. The Ironclad passive is enabled again. 20% damage reduction while transformed. They basically figured out that we as a community were getting a little over dramatic about the new Bastion, and that he's actually quite okay. So they are giving him his toys back. Sojourn, on the other hand, she's getting nerfed again. Railgun energy gain from non-player targets like barriers, turrets, and more, reduced by an additional 50%. There is also a small Reaper change. Hellfire shotguns spread reduced from 8 to 7 degrees. And Sombra is moving a little closer back to her old hack. But not really. Hack ability lockout duration increased from 1 to 1.75 seconds. Blizzard explained that they did this change to the hack to kind of give Sombra players the feeling like they actually did something. It was too short, so it's an interrupt with a bit of an echo. And that was it. Those were all of the changes. Now all of these changes and the things that they didn't change will be monitored as the game launches. And if anything doesn't work out, changes will be made. To be honest, I don't think we'll have to wait very long to see that first balancing patch. Now what do you think about all of these changes? And especially that new DPS passive? Let me know in the comments. Join me during my streams on twitch.tv/DamesIsTV and make sure to subscribe for more updates on Overwatch.